AITA for putting my coworker in the hospital and almost permanently putting her to sleep. For the past 3 months, someone at my job has been consistently stealing my food that I bring from home, so I don't have to use the snack machine or walk across the street to McDonald's like the majority of my coworkers do.
July.
In the first month, I noticed someone had been gradually taking some of my food. 1 out of 3 slices of pizza gone, 20% of my soup gone, Cheetos bag completely gone, etc. Didn't think much of it, and simply decided to now attach a "please don't touch" paper sign on my stuff. August. In the second month, at start of the month, my food became untouched but progressively went back to the usual. September. At the beginning of the third month, I asked coworkers if they had taken or knew who was taking my food, and no one had a clue, which is kinda believable as most of us take our lunches separately. I decided to eat McDonald's or go to 7-Eleven and stop bringing food, but then it started fucking with my financial stability. 10 days of paycheck, 14-day paycheck, consistently buying food. October 3rd, Thursday. I decided to take matters into my own hands. Last week, my friend told me about an Instagram reel that she saw where a girl put laxative into her own food to see who was the culprit, and that's exactly what I did today. What I wasn't expecting was for the girl, late 20s, to have an allergic reaction to an ingredient and ended up going to the hospital. After work, all of us went to visit her in the hospital, where we all talked about what happened and admitting to putting laxative into my own food. 6 out of 8 coworkers, all girls, were disgusted by my actions and were on her side. One girl was whatever about it, and the last guy said she shouldn't have been touching my food to begin with. I told the girl that I hope she gets better and went home, but I didn't apologize for what I did, and I'm not going to. October 4th, Friday. Today, day off. I received a phone call from our supervisor, who I spoke to about my issue between after the first month and told me she can't help me there because she's not our mom, and essentially told me I had to apologize to her or else I wouldn't be able to come back to work until I do. And I'm assuming if I take too many days, I'd just be fired for not coming to work. Update number 1. Just received a text from my SV telling me the coworker doesn't need to apologize, and it's up to her discretion if she chooses to apologize or not for stealing my food. Update number 2. I'm a male for those who keep referring to me as a she, even though I never mentioned my gender, lol. Update number 3. Male coworker who is on my side told me the girl is going to take legal action for attempting to kill her. He overheard the girls talking today at work. Update number 4. Many of you white EA voters are forgetting the fact that my "please do not touch" sign never left. Even though it stopped working eventually, I still kept it there, so when she took my laxative food from my plastic bag, the sign "please don't touch my food" was still on it. Update number 5. My supervisor is HR. There's no one else in the HR department. Update number 7. I've been reading more comments with a lot of questions, so I'll answer them here, so everyone can see. She's not poor. She drives a 2020, at least, Lexus SUV LMAO. My supervisor is HR. Our other manager works from home and only comes once or twice a week to meet with the elderly's families. Yes, I could have spoken to him, but knowing him, as he's not around much, would tell me to reach out to the HR lady as she's in a higher position than him. I live in South California, but not LA. Doctors said the allergic reaction might have been the laxative or my food, which was chicken noodle soup that I made from scratch at home the morning of. They're still running tests. She didn't go to the hospital because she was shitting herself senseless from the laxative. She went because she complained of a huge stomachache and a rash line from below her belly button to between her 2 rib cages. Shifts between employees and sometimes managers always align for those saying how we could all go to the hospital. You either work 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., or 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Update number 8. One of my coworkers is now in the hospital for the same conditions: big stomachache and rash line down the stomach lining. Doctors are now certain it wasn't the laxative as she didn't eat my soup compared to the first girl. Update number 9. Someone from home office, HQ, is being sent down tomorrow morning to figure out what's going on as our HR has a huge shit stain on her hands. Doctors are running tests for the second girl and trying to figure out why 2 coworkers are having the same issues. They've, HR, doctors, and male coworker, now ruled out my soup as the cause of all this. Update number 10. Both girls are now under quarantine, and no one is allowed to visit them until the hospital clears that they're not contagious. I'm required to report to work tomorrow for a meeting between myself, HR, some of my coworkers, and the home office rep. Update number 11. The home office rep called me to inform me that I'm formally being sued tomorrow by the first girl and her husband, although she's unsure what I'm being sued for. Update number 12. Just answering some more questions about this whole situation. I contacted a family lawyer this morning, but he's currently out of town until Monday morning, so I'll be speaking to him soon. I told him the gist of what's happening, including being sued for unknown reasons until I'm served my papers. Both girls are fine. Light diarrhea, and the rash seems to be going away after giving them Benadryl, Pepto, and vitamins 3 and 4. Some people think they're on their deathbeds, although it's quite the opposite, lol. From what my male coworker has told me, I wasn't the only victim of getting their food stolen by this girl. The only difference is I'm the only one calling her out on it. October 5th, Saturday. Update number 13. Finished my meeting with my supervisors and coworkers. The HR lady is now under investigation and has been put under temporary leave. The first girl will be fired by the end of the day, although I'm still being supposedly sued, and we're still trying to figure out how they got sick. We're trying to talk to second girl on what could have happened, but she doesn't want to say anything. Update number 14. Not long after my last update, the first girl's husband was sent to the hospital and quarantined for the same symptoms as the other two. The doctors are 90% sure that whatever is causing this is transferable by bodily fluids. It makes sense for the husband to be sick in this case, but we have no idea how the second girl is sick. All three are now under quarantine. HR has been fired. First girl has been fired. HR lady is going to sue the company for psychological trauma and distress, according to my coworkers, lol. Update number 15. I'm currently at work for the time being, and the home office rep is in charge. For those dumb enough to ask and question how we know all this, the doctors are keeping me and the home office rep informed, as I'm still considered the starting root cause of all this. On top of that, the first girl is still gossiping to my coworkers. Do phones not exist now? LOL. Side note, I have yet to be served any papers. I've never been sued before, so I'm not sure how long this takes, or if the girl has even started the process. HR only gave me a heads up yesterday that she's going to, not that she already has. Saturday night. Update number 16. Alright, this has been a long 2 days for me, and this might be the last update, at least for now, until this whole thing blows over. I've been trying to make sense of everything that has happened lately, but now I don't know where to begin, so I'll try my best. As I said earlier, the HR lady was being investigated, and during the investigation they found out she had the same symptoms 3 weeks ago and quietly checked herself into a hospital, but is now almost fully recovered. I don't think she quarantined, as she hasn't missed work since her last vacation earlier this year. Apart from that, she also confessed to having sexual relationships with both girls in the hospital for the past 2 months, and both girls having no idea of the other's sexual relation with HR. The home office rep believes the husband got sick via the wife, as he's never stepped foot into the facility and has never met any of his wife's coworkers or supervisor. The HR lady has been arrested for knowingly spreading an infectious disease without the knowledge of the other person, twice. The hospital will be contacted by the company to inform them of this incident and see what medications/treatment she was given as HR goes to a fancier hospital and what they're dealing with. HR has possibly dropped legal action unless they were empty threats from the beginning. Monday morning I'll be talking to my lawyer to sue the wife and rest of the 6 women for emotional distress and lying, as it seems none of this was my fault to begin with, and I'm still not going to apologize for anything. I've been standing my ground since day one. I think I'll do one more update once everyone is cleared from the hospital and everything is back to normal. October 6th, Monday night. Update number 17, finale update. Unfortunately, someone that knows me or what's going on at the company that I work for finally saw my post and sent it to home office, resulting in them firing me, as California is an at-will employee state. After talking things over with my lawyer and the company themselves, I could have sued them and the girls for all the chaos that transpired, and they would have countersued. Basically, their reputation, as I haven't revealed the employer, versus me being in debt, as I don't have the funds to go against an entire company or the time, so I decided to let it go. I was going to start looking for a new job anyways once the shit show literally was over. As for everyone else, both girls and the husband have now been released from the hospital, but are advised to stay home. The infection was found out to be viral gastroenteritis, stomach flu, or something very close to it, which would explain the stomach aches, diarrhea, fever, and it being highly contagious, but not the rash and why it took so long for them to get sick. The HR lady was never arrested, as I originally assumed, but was questioned and at some point called the wife to tell her that she confessed everything, including that she was seeing the second girl behind her back, but she loved her, the wife, and wanted to be with her. The wife told her it was over and that she's with her husband, as the husband was right next to her at the time of the call. Unfortunately for her, the husband is going forward with the divorce and in the meantime has kicked out the wife from their home. The wife had a huge nervous breakdown, started throwing shit around the house, and admitted to not only having a sexual relationship with HR, but the second girl from the hospital without HR's or anybody's knowledge for the past year. Which is hard to believe, and she might just be saying shit to get the last laugh. Nevertheless, the wife is now staying with a relative an hour away to figure things out and calm down. The husband, myself, and the male ex-coworker are currently at the husband's house helping clean the mess she made, packing up the wife's belongings and sharing each other's side of the stories, as we might all be sick already anyways. We've been here for the past 10 hours laughing our asses off and drinking margaritas. I showed them my Reddit post, as it doesn't matter anymore now that I'm fired. Come to find out, the husband's a pretty chill guy, unlike his crazy soon-to-be ex-wife. He offered me his place to stay for free if I have a hard time finding a decent job, and let me the Lexus his wife was using, as I've been taking Uber for a while after my car broke down a year ago and haven't been able to save up from how expensive Uber is. This is why I was packing my lunches. I'm going to start looking for a new job tomorrow and hopefully put this whole mess behind me. This weekend me and the boys are planning to get drinks and watch some football at our local sports bars if we're all in good health. Thank you to all those who supported me and rode this wild, bat poop crazy roller coaster with me. Like and follow for more.